I want to, like, it's the type of job that just doesn't come open in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, you want this job so badly, but then it obviously shakes everything up for the Browns. Like, the realistic chance that Harbaugh would just say, screw you, Baltimore, for even firing me. I'm going to go to the AFC North rival, and I'm going to go fix the Browns.
I think they've got to be smart in terms of IQ, EQ, and football acumen. And obviously, they're going to bring expertise on one side of the ball. We do not have bias on whether they should be from the offense or the defense.
The Baltimore Ravens have just fired John Harbaugh.
The Baltimore Ravens have just fired John Harbaugh, and all of a sudden, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam is making his move. This isn't just speculation anymore, folks. Multiple sources close to the organization are saying that Haslam has his eyes locked on Harbaugh, and the plan is crystal clear. Bring him to Cleveland to develop the next franchise quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, the same way he developed Lamar Jackson into an MVP. Now let me tell you why this situation is absolutely wild. The timing of all of this is just too perfect to be a coincidence. Kevin Stefanski was fired by the Browns just one day before Harbaugh got the axe in Baltimore. One day. You cannot tell me that there weren't some serious conversations happening behind closed doors between Harbaugh's agents and Jimmy Haslam. This level of coordination doesn't just happen by accident in the NFL. These are calculated moves by people who know exactly what they're doing. Was this all planned out weeks in advance? Only God knows for sure. But the pieces are falling into place way too conveniently for this to be pure chance.
Absolutely. Great coach.
Think about it. The Browns have been searching for their answer at quarterback for literally decades. They've cycled through more quarterbacks than most teams go through in their entire franchise history. Jimmy Haslam knows that if he's going to turn this organization around, he needs two things: a proven coach who can develop young talent, and a quarterback with the potential to be a generational player. With Harbaugh and Shedeur Sanders, he might have just found both pieces of the puzzle at the exact same time. Let's talk about what just happened in Baltimore, because this is where the story gets really interesting. In the final game of the season, the Ravens lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers by just a field goal. It was a heartbreaking loss, the kind that sticks with you. But what most people don't know is that there were some serious rifts developing between Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson during that game. Sources inside the locker room have been whispering about disagreements on play calling, about communication breakdowns, about a relationship that had simply run its course after all these years. That loss didn't just cost the Ravens a playoff spot, it eliminated them from contention entirely, and apparently, it was the final straw for ownership. The Ravens organization decided that after everything Harbaugh had done for them, after all the success, after developing Lamar Jackson into one of the best quarterbacks in football, it was time to move on. And honestly, when you look at how quickly they made this decision, you have to wonder if they've been thinking about it for a while. Maybe they saw the writing on the wall. Maybe they knew that Harbaugh's heart wasn't fully in Baltimore anymore.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing. I think our guys fought. We were that close to winning the North, and we didn't get a chance to get it done. So all that other stuff is history. A chance.
And here's where things get absolutely fascinating. During this past draft process, John Harbaugh wanted Shedeur Sanders. He wanted him badly. He saw in Shedeur the same raw talent, the same competitive fire, the same leadership qualities that he saw in Lamar Jackson when the Ravens drafted him. Harbaugh was convinced that he could mold Shedeur into something special, that he could create another MVP caliber quarterback. But here's the problem. The Ravens' ownership wasn't on board. They didn't want to use a first-round pick on Shedeur. They didn't want to use a second-round pick either. They felt like they already had their franchise quarterback in Lamar, and they weren't interested in creating a potential quarterback controversy. By the time the third round rolled around, Harbaugh was desperate. He actually reached out to Deion Sanders, Shedeur's father, to gauge interest. Can you imagine that conversation? One of the most respected coaches in the NFL calling Coach Prime to see if his son would be willing to come to Baltimore as a developmental project. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Shedeur Sanders didn't want to be second fiddle to Lamar Jackson. And can you blame him? The kid has been raised by a Hall of Fame cornerback who taught him to believe in himself, to know his worth, to never settle for being anyone's backup. Shedeur wants to be the guy from day one, not sitting on the bench, learning behind someone else.
I don't want to say how it went, but how in the world can somebody fault him for saying or thinking, why in the world would I go back up Lamar for 10 more years?
For sure. So Shedeur and his camp politely declined. They told the Ravens, "Thanks, but no thanks." And you know what happened next? In a press conference shortly after the draft, a reporter asked Harbaugh about the situation. His response was telling. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that it wasn't his decision to talk about any specific player or to sign anyone. He made it crystal clear that player acquisition was ultimately a management decision, not a coaching decision. The frustration in his voice was obvious to anyone paying attention. This was a coach who had identified the talent he wanted, who had a vision for how to develop that talent, and who was being overruled by people in suits who thought they knew better. From that moment on, you could see it in Harbaugh's demeanor. Something had changed. He wasn't the same fiery, passionate coach that Ravens fans had grown to love. There was a distance there, a sense that maybe he was already mentally checking out. He was unhappy about not getting Shedeur Sanders, and it showed in subtle ways throughout the season. The energy wasn't quite the same. The connection with his players seemed a little bit off, and when that final loss to the Steelers happened, when those rifts with Lamar became more apparent, it was like the dam finally broke. Enter Jimmy Haslam. Now say what you want about Haslam as an owner. The man has made plenty of mistakes with the Browns over the years. But one thing you cannot deny is that he's always looking for opportunities, always trying to find that winning formula. And when he saw what was happening in Baltimore, when he realized that Harbaugh might actually be available, he jumped on it immediately. Reports are coming out now that Haslam reached out to Harbaugh's camp within hours of the firing. The pitch was simple but powerful. Come to Cleveland, take full control of the roster decisions when it comes to quarterbacks, and we'll draft Shedeur Sanders for you in this year's draft. We'll give you the blank canvas you wanted in Baltimore. We'll let you build the offense around the quarterback you believe in. Goes away if you hire John Harbaugh. You can't say that about any other head coaching candidate. And frankly speaking, this could be an absolutely deadly combination. Think about what Harbaugh did with Lamar Jackson. He took a quarterback that half the league had questions about, a guy who was considered a running back playing quarterback by some scouts, and turned him into the most valuable player in the entire NFL. He designed an entire offensive system around Lamar's unique skill set. He protected him, developed him, believed in him when others did. Now imagine him doing that with Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback who already has elite pocket presence, who can make every throw on the field, who has been groomed for this moment his entire life by one of the greatest athletes of all time. Shedeur Sanders isn't Lamar Jackson. His game is completely different. He's more of a traditional pocket passer, with the ability to extend plays when necessary. But that's what makes this pairing with Harbaugh so intriguing. Harbaugh has proven that he can adapt his system to his quarterback's strength. He's not some dinosaur running an outdated offense. He's innovative, creative, and most importantly, he knows how to get the absolute best out of young players. He knows how to build their confidence, how to put them in positions to succeed, how to protect them from making mistakes that could derail their development. The Browns would suddenly have all the pieces in place. They've got talent on the offensive line. They've got weapons at running back with Nick Chubb when he's healthy. They've got Amari Cooper and other receiving threats. What they've been missing is the right coach-quarterback combination, and this could finally be it. Harbaugh wouldn't just be coaching he'd be mentoring him, teaching him how to be a professional, how to handle the pressure of being a franchise quarterback in the NFL. He'd do whatever it takes to extract the best possible version of Shedeur Sanders, because his legacy would depend on it. This is about redemption for Harbaugh too. He spent his entire career in Baltimore being one of the most successful coaches in the league. But now he has a chance to prove he can do it again somewhere else, with a different team, with a quarterback he personally selected and developed from scratch. This is his opportunity to show that what he built in Baltimore wasn't just luck or just about having Lamar Jackson. This is his chance to validate his entire coaching philosophy with a completely different type of quarterback. For Jimmy Haslam, this would be the boldest move of his tenure as Browns owner. He'd be betting the future of his franchise on a coach who just got fired and a rookie quarterback who hasn't taken a single NFL snap. But fortune favors the bold, and the teams that win championships are the ones willing to take calculated risks. If this works, if Harbaugh and Shedeur Sanders become the next great coach-quarterback duo in the NFL, Haslam goes from being one of the most criticized owners in football to a genius who orchestrated one of the most impressive rebuilds in league history. The question now is whether this can actually happen. Can they get a deal done with Harbaugh? Will the Browns actually draft Shedeur Sanders with their first pick? Is Shedeur willing to go to Cleveland and embrace the challenge of turning around one of the league's most struggling franchises? These are all questions that will be answered in the coming days and weeks. But one thing is for certain, this situation is developing rapidly, and it has all the makings of an absolutely blockbuster move that could reshape the entire AFC North for years to come. What do you guys think? Is this the right move for the Browns? Can Harbaugh turn Shedeur Sanders into the next great NFL quarterback? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more breaking NFL news and analysis. This is going to be one wild offseason, and we're going to be covering every single development right here. I'll see you in the next one.